As we move into storm season, here's something most homeowners don't realize after a storm. Roof damage isn't always obvious. Wind can lift shingles, breaking the seal. Hail can bruise them below, and flashing around chimneys and pipes can loosen without you ever knowing. That damage may not show up for months. If your area has strong wind or hail, a professional inspection will help bring you clarity before small damage turns into bigger problems.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Almost there. Friday is right around the corner, and so are those great conditions that are going to come with that Friday forecast. Welcome in to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe, and like I said, a lot of good news heading into Friday, and that is just the first of many headlines that we're tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Taking a look at the top of the broadcast, dry conditions do continue this evening, along with a beautiful sunset in some parts of North Mississippi. So get out there and enjoy it this evening. Just make sure to layer up in the process. But the abundant sunshine ahead, all of this cloud cover we're dealing with right now is moving on out and leaving us with those clear skies, especially into that weekend forecast. And Matt is live in Oxford with an update there from 8 Days of Hope. You know, Matt, what can you tell us about where things stand there in Lafayette County right now?
So I'm going to talk a lot more info. I do see my shot's going to be a little choppy, so hopefully you'll hear. In these disaster response zones, cell phone service tends to be a little bit spotty, and so I apologize for that. But the good folks from 8 Days of Hope, and I'm here since Saturday trying to work through the recovery efforts, their rapid response team, and I ventured into Oxford from the northeast and traveling through Union County, part of Marshall and Benton counties. Again, this is some of the hardest hit areas and still some of the greatest number of power outages in this area. So it is a recovery process for a lot of folks here, but it is one that is progressing, and we'll talk more to the folks. Days of Hope, Dustin Sullivan on their response team come here in a couple minutes. But Gabe, I'll send it back to you. I'll try to find a spot that maybe we have a slightly better cell phone signal here in a moment. But it is a cold evening, and it's just a reminder that we just have been on the very cold stretch lately. The fact that even on my way in, I still saw some white stuff on the ground from time to time. It's just the depth of on this. Anyway, I'm going to send it back to you, Dustin Sullivan. We'll get update on how things are going in the response here with 8 Days of Hope coming up here in a couple minutes. Live in Oxford, meteorologist Matt Law on Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, Matt, like you said, it's a miracle that we can even get a cell phone signal out there in Oxford, in Lafayette County, with all the damage they've dealt with over the past 2 weeks. So definitely shows that things are trending up, things are trending better, and the temperatures heading into our Friday going to really help folks out there get in the right direction. The first 39 degrees at 6 p.m., close to that freezing point by 9, and that's where we'll sit into these overnight hours as well. So I don't want to completely overlook the fact it's going to be cold, it's going to be freezing, but compared to what we had this morning, these temperatures are much better. I mean, this morning, some of us were in the teens. So yes, low 30s, we will take it for the start of our Friday. Taking a look there in Tupelo right now, this is what I'm talking about with those gloomy skies still overhead. 43 degrees, that blanket of cloud cover has prevented us from warming up too much by the afternoon. I'll say it, if this cloud cover cleared on out, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we would have gotten into the 50s today. Unfortunately, didn't happen, and so these temperatures were kept at bay during those afternoon peak heating time frames. A big thank you to the folks there at Mitchell Cunningham and Bowling giving us this shot there in Tupelo, and it's just a great partnership with them and always a great time to look out there in Lee County and get a look at how things are looking here in Tupelo. May have been 45 degrees, a little bit of a breakup in that cloud cover, and honestly adding to that sunset. I'm hoping for a few good sunset pictures tonight, because if it's shaping up like this over in Oktibbeha County, I think it's going to be a good one. 45 degrees, dew point around 23, so it shows that dry air that's overhead. And as we take a look out west in Greenville, things are definitely looking much better. Look at how clear those skies are out in Greenville right now. Of course, this is out to the west, and the further east you go, the cloud cover is a little bit more extensive. So that all starts to trend a little bit east and pushes all of this moisture away. A few places out there towards North Alabama actually getting a few flakes in the forecast, but here in North Mississippi, fortunately, no white stuff coming from the sky. We're going to stay with those clear and dry conditions overnight on our Mama Justice Doppler radar, showing us exactly that. Now, as we take a look ahead in the forecast, we will gradually see that moisture push out towards the east, Southerly winds return to the forecast, and that southerly wind, along with the clearing that's taking place, is going to allow those mild temperatures to return. 10 p.m., we're still going to be sitting around that freezing point tonight, but like I said, we're going to be pretty consistent beyond that point and into your Friday morning, right around freezing once again. Not significantly below like Thursday morning, but yes, unfortunately, it is still going to be cold heading out the door. As we take a look at that next 24, though, you can see that how great things get. We're 32, 6 a.m., but 62 by the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Guys, I don't say picture perfect forecast, at least I haven't said it too often. This is a picture perfect forecast for your afternoon on Friday. If you have not made plans already to get out and enjoy the forecast, you're missing out. And you need to definitely do that with the conditions that we're getting, because
at First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, I apologize for getting cut off before the break. I guess that was winter not letting me talk about the great conditions that are pushing in this weekend. But nonetheless, we are starting to get that warming trend as soon as Friday morning. But for this afternoon, still a cold forecast, well below average, 48 degrees in Cleveland. And one big note with this forecast, and with this camera in particular there with the North Mississippi Storm Chasers, you see the trees that are still snapped from the heavy ice and snow that was in the area since clearing out, and we are fortunate that a lot of that white has moved out of the forecast. But again, the effects are still there, and that's where cleanup processes are continuing. Our chief meteorologist, Matt Lopon, he is live in Oxford, one of the hardest hit locations, with the latest on those recovery efforts with 8 Days of Hope. Matt, he joins us now with the very latest.
Well, thank you, Gabe. Again, we're here at Oxford at the North Oxford Baptist Church. I got the location right? I'm going to bring in Brandon Sullivan with 8 Days of Hope. Yeah, you guys deployed last Saturday, I believe was the beginning of it, and you've been go ever since.
Yeah, we've had volunteers from all over the country, Matt, and they've been serving. We've served something like 30 families so far, but we've had so many requests for help already. It's just amazing that all the people need help, and just damage so widespread across not only this county, but all over the state and then other states as well.
What is it like responding to an ice? Because you guys, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, you mentioned when we were talking a minute ago, then the flooding, in the Texas Hill Country was one of the last responses you guys had. This is obviously different. How does an ice storm compare to that?
Yeah, someone asked me that the other day, Matt, and we respond to tornadoes and floods and hurricanes and wildfires and derechoes and all kinds of different storms, but this ice storm is like something else we've ever seen. It's like someone just grabbed a bunch of limbs and threw them up in the air and they just landed all over the ground. It's something phenomenal, I think.
It really is. One of the emergency managers, I don't remember which one, described it as basically like a county-wide tornado. Not a high-end tornado that wipes everything out, but just like consistent tornado damage over large swaths of area.
Yeah, and I think the biggest risk of this freezing limbs that we've seen are heavy limbs breaking off and going straight through the homes. That's very dangerous. Yeah.
So has there been a lot of that you've come across?
We've come across several homes and families that have near misses of limbs coming in their bedrooms while they were sleeping. Yeah.
That's scary stuff. Have you run into a lot that are still dangling that you're having to try to help with?
Yeah. So actually more than 50% of all of our requests are what we call widowmakers, right? Or dead limbs just hanging, real risky, dangerous limbs. And so a lot of people are asking us to come take care of that. We do have 3 boom lifts that go 50 foot in the air, but we have a lot more than 3 requests, so they are steadily nonstop. Yeah, and they'll be busy for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, not everybody knows this, but 8 Days of Hope, again, it started, in North Mississippi, and you travel all over the country, helping out families and communities recover from disasters. It's a really, the rapid response, you could see a little bit of the equipment back behind us there. Didn't have good self-service back there, unfortunately. But, there are multiple different layers of this, including your feeding ministry as well.
Yeah, so when we come into an area, if electricity and power has been out for an extended period of time, we can feed thousands of people every day with our mass feeding ministry. We also bring in laundry trailers when the power's out, because you think about it now, linemen, utility workers, families, even our volunteers, their clothes starts to stink after a few days with no power. So we can clean laundry not only for our people but other people. And then also shower trailers is a big need. We can bring in shower trailers and furnish them with heated water, and that's just a big need during these times.
And this isn't, again, Walt started in North Mississippi. This isn't just Mississippi. These are people from all kinds of states and places that are coming to help out here.
Yeah, we have people this week from Ohio, Indiana, Texas, New York. We even have a man here from Alaska. So they come from all over. They love serving with us, which, is wonderful. And I encourage the viewers, if you want to check us out, if you have a heart to serve, a heart to go on a local mission trip, check us out.
Yeah, 8daysofhope.com is the website there, and it is truly an inspirational service that you guys provide to the community. So you're here through, I think, Valentine's Day, right?
Yes, that's our projected date, Valentine's Day. Right now, we're considering extending for another week, possibly into the 21st of February.
Just as the need, develops and goes. It does not necessarily at this stage. You pretty much do have to have at least some qualifications to come help out. I know that you have and I want to call it mega response. What's the other term? This is the rapid response right now.
Yeah, you have rapid response, then you have a rebuild afterwards. But you do, there are certain qualifications. Obviously, you want to run a chainsaw or a piece of heavy equipment, we must certify you and make sure that you know what you're doing before we just jump on that. But there are lots of different things that people can do. Of course, like I said, we do have a feeding ministry. We have to feed our volunteers. So we have volunteers preparing our meals for our volunteers every day. Also, we have a facilities team that keeps our facilities clean for the volunteers. That's a ministry by itself. Another thing people can do is they have a general knowledge of just trees or somewhat general construction. They can be on our assessing team. Now, if you think about it, the assessors are the first people that meet these families that are hurting. Okay, so that's the first faces that they see, and they get to pray for those people while out.
It's incredible what you guys do. And while Steve would kick me for doing this, people can donate to help out. You're a nonprofit, and all the money goes to the ministry. It doesn't go to equipment. That all comes from donations from other people as well. So if someone wants to donate that.
Yeah, they would go to .com and click on the give button, and it's just as simple as that. Or they could mail a check to 8 Days of Hope.
Okay, we appreciate it. Anything else you want to add to tell? Okay, before we go, and I apologize, I have this too much focused on me. Let me get that back there. That's
you're the star.
That is not true. Here in Oxford for the last week, y'all have been the stars. How is the mood of people around this area?
Yeah, so people in Oxford, Mississippi, obviously this is Ole Miss, right? There's a great pride that comes with that in this town, and to have someone come from out of town to help them for free, it's just a heartfelt, right? We can see the warmth in their heart, and we start to see them smile, and that just brings us joy. So it's just a blessing to be able to serve this town.
Well, I'm sure that they are glad that you're here. We're glad that you're here. And if there's anything else that we can do to help out, spread your mission, just let us know.
Thank you, man. I sure appreciate it.
I appreciate that. That's Dustin Sullivan again with 8 Days of Hope here in the Oxford area. Gabe, we're going to send it back to you in the studio. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll talk to the mayor in Hickory Flat about some of the recovery there in Benton County. But from Lafayette County, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopp on Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, Matt, thank you so much, and I appreciate the 8 Days of Hope ministry for what they've been able to do for the Oxford community, and just continued prayers for those that have been impacted, and as they trend in the right direction, and yes, with the forecast trending in the right direction, we do expect those to continue to get better. As we take a look at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, staying with those dry conditions over the top of North Mississippi right now, but that's been the usual case. Where the shift is starting to happen is actually with our cloud cover, and if I put this on a loop here real quick, you can kind of see how that has gradually cleared up just a bit, and the large batch of that moisture still working its way into Alabama, leaving us with these mostly clear conditions into those overnight hours, especially the further out west you are. Day planner for those overnight hours, 37 degrees by 7. We're at that freezing point, at least close to it by 9, 10, and 11 o'clock this evening. But luckily, that's where we'll sit into those overnight hours, so not much change in the forecast once we get around 32 degrees. So 7 o'clock on your Thursday, staying with those dry conditions, and all that cloud cover continues to progress out towards the east. And take a look at that clear sky over the top of North Mississippi by 10 o'clock. I mean, I'm excited to talk to you guys at 10 o'clock about how great these conditions are, because it's going to be a perfect forecast to talk about after what has not been a perfect forecast for the past couple of weeks. 2 a.m. we continue to see that southwesterly wind into the area, and that will gradually work that milder air into the forecast as we get into our Friday. Friday morning, already seeing a bit of a positive trend in those low temperatures. We're 30 degrees Houston, Tupelo, and Amory, 29 Vernon, 31 Macon, 32 Kosciuszko, and 35 Belzona, Cleveland, and Clarksdale. As we go about the day, though, these freezing temperatures get so much better. Let's go ahead and look at that in more detail. That wind chill, of course, not going to be much of a factor due to the lack of winds in the forecast, but here's a look at a little sneak preview of that afternoon forecast. Drop off at 62 degrees. It's been a while since we've said 60s in the forecast, and we're excited about that for sure. And the fact that there are no repercussions. I mean, we're 62 with sunshine. That's two positives, no negatives in this forecast at all. So again, enjoy it, get out there. It's going to be a great time for your Friday. Friday, as we go about today, we've talked about that sunshine being in North Mississippi. It's as that ridging pattern just basically moves right over the top of us. That means high pressure driving the forecast and allowing for that drier air to move in place. So by mid-morning, we're continuing to see that sunshine. Even by lunchtime, we'll continue to see the similar effects of that high pressure center. Now, high pressure does start to move a little bit off there towards the east, and we are watching this cold front that's extending all the way across Tennessee, Arkansas, and Oklahoma by noontime. As we get into that afternoon time frame, you can see how that begins to dip a little bit further south. And what you're getting back behind this is a northerly wind back into the forecast. Now, I know we hear northerly wind and we automatically assume colder temperatures. And yes, there will be a brief setback, but it's not going to be significant, and we're not going to feel how we felt this morning. So nothing like that. That Arctic cold, luckily staying up there north in the Arctic area. At 6 p.m. though, you can see how it's going to remain still that sunshine, but the changes in the temperatures will be felt by our Saturday. Tracking that here in just a moment. Let's stay on our high temperatures for Friday, because it just got even better since when we talked this time yesterday evening. 64 New Albany, 66 Water Valley, 68 Greenwood, 69 Belzona, 65 Clarksdale. So I honestly went on the lower side on our 7-day forecast. Probably need to jump this up a few degrees to accommodate for some of those warmer conditions down there in southwest Mississippi. Now, as we take, or should I say, southwest part of our viewing area. High school game of the week, looking like a good forecast as well on the back end of our Friday with those mostly clear skies. Temperatures 49 by that first tip and 44 towards the final buzzer. This is going to be Ingomar versus West Lowndes. So if you need to make Friday plans, go down to Columbus and join us there at our game of the week, presented by Langston a lot. And a big thank you to the folks out there for allowing us to keep this coverage going into the final week of the regular season for some, and postseason right around the corner. We're keeping that coverage going. Our 8 o'clock hour on our Friday, staying with those northerly winds, and these will be a bit more breezy, so potential for a little bit of a wind chill in that forecast for the start of our Friday, but that will also have a little bit of moisture returning to the forecast, and that moisture keeps those milder conditions for at least the start of our Saturday. So it's going to be cold, but not as cold as what it could have been, like, what we got this morning, right? So as we look at those low temperatures, very similar to our Friday morning, 31 New Albany, 31 Iuka, 32 Amory, 33 Starkville, Columbus, and Macon. And we're 34 Clarksdale, 32 Tunica, Southaven, and 31 Oxford and Senatobia. Wind chill, this will drop our temperatures a few degrees in regards to how it feels outside, because it's a little bit more breezy than what we're getting on Friday, so that's why it'll feel a little bit colder. But again, this brief cool down does not last long, and we will see that gradually increase as we get into our Sunday. Luckily, Saturday, any of the moisture that's in the forecast, that could be in the form of some patchy cloud cover, but we do expect that to clear on out by the lunch hour. So moisture, not going to be in the forecast. No rainfall in the forecast. And that sunshine, it's in the forecast, and it's going to be dominating our skies all throughout the afternoon and into our Saturday evening. So if you can't get out there Friday to enjoy it, Saturday, that is your golden opportunity. Get out there and take full advantage of the beautiful sights that'll be in North Mississippi. And we're talking about the sights being the skies. It's going to be a good looking day. As we get into our Sunday, though, temperatures do get better than this for sure. I mean, high temperatures Saturday, 48 Senatobia, Holly Springs, 50 around Tupelo, 55 Columbus and Vernon, and 51 Hamilton, Alabama. So it's not as bad as what it could have been. That sunshine definitely helping us warm up. But again, things shift. And by Sunday, the warm air returns, and it's really going to climb as we get into the start of the week. So 50 degrees is our high temperature Saturday, 60 degrees on your Sunday, still with plenty of sunshine both days, dry pattern. It's not going to be anything too worrisome as we go about the weekend. But once we get into next week, take a look at these high temperatures. Monday, 67 degrees. Tuesday, 69 degrees. Wednesday, 68. And even by Thursday, 65. Guys, and we're not in spring yet, but this definitely gives me some spring vibes, and I'm excited about it. 70s also possible for some parts of the area getting into the start of next week. So if you're not smiling about this forecast, then I don't know what there is to smile about, because this is definitely one worth smiling about. I hope you guys are happy. I hope you guys are excited, because I know we are here at Mississippi Live Weather. And of course, we'll track every bit of this here in the Room to Room Weather Center, but definitely a positive after so many negatives the past couple of weeks. I do see some folks asking about certain areas. Takapola, still no power. Yes, I mean, we'll look at power outages in more detail coming up at 6 o'clock tonight about areas that are still dealing with those outages. But we've been trying to work our way all throughout North Mississippi to provide updates on where things stand and how those recovery efforts have gone. So we'll hear from Matt at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll also be assessing a little bit more on this temperature forecast and what this means heading into our weekend, how long this sticks around for, all of those latest details here on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Download that app today, and that'll allow you full access to all of that content. And of course, the forecast, the thing that you guys are probably wanting the most. And you have access to that as well, current, hour by hour, and the 7-day forecast, all on the Mississippi Live Weather app. Our next broadcast at 6 p.m. Matt's joining us with the latest on what's happening in Lafayette and Benton County, getting around North Mississippi. He'll be providing that in more detail at 6 o'clock tonight. We cannot wait to see you guys there, and I hope you guys are having a terrific Thursday. We'll see you there.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.